Hi everyone, I'm back. Greek Goddess of Great Reading here. Some people have told me that name sounds stupid. Well, that's too bad. That's my name, and that's how it's gonna stay. Today I'm reviewing The Maze Runner by James Dashner. Well, with the release of the movie and all, I thought maybe it was time I read the book series and see if the book series are good, and then maybe see the movie and see how it compares. If you ain't scared, you ain't human. When Thomas wakes up in the lift, the only thing he can remember is his name. He's surrounded by strangers, boys whose memories are also gone. Nice to meet you, Shank. Welcome to the Glade. Outside the towering stone walls that surround the Glade is a limitless, ever-changing maze. It's the only way out, and no one's ever made it through alive. Everything is going to change. Then a girl arrives, the first girl ever, and the message she delivers is terrifying. Remember, survive, run. This book started with me not knowing anything and the main character not knowing anything. And I thought that journey with him through the book, Thomas, I thought that journey was very clear for both me and for the main character. We were both very confused. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what was behind the maze, what was going on outside of the maze. The first book in the Maze Runner series does focus specifically on the boys that are inside this huge maze, and they think they're in an experiment that they have to try and get out of the maze, sort of like rats trying to find their way out of a maze. Thomas meets all of these other boys who are just like him. They don't have any recollection of their past lives. All they can remember is their name and maybe certain things that happened to them, like they remember riding a bike, but they don't remember who was there, who taught them, stuff like that. It is a very bizarre memory loss that happens to all these boys. Thomas is obviously the newest member of the Glade, the area where the boys live that is safe most of the time. And he obviously isn't adjusting as well the first day as the other boys have already adjusted to their life there. Some of them have been there for as long as 2 years. So after a while, you kind of just give up and give into the routine of this is what we do every day. We just try to stay alive. We try to find a way out of the maze. You can't have a book like this because it's almost post-apocalyptic. You're not too sure yet though, but you can't have a book like this without either a bad guy or something very sinister. The bad people are the people controlling the maze, and in this book, they have no idea who that is, the boys. But the other representation of evil in this book are what the boys call the grievers. And the description in the book is very bizarre. They seem mechanical but also insect-like and very much alive. So they are robots of sorts that the people in charge of the maze have created in order to, I guess, kill off the boys one by one. And why do you want to do that? No one knows. I have no idea. Thomas has no idea. No one has any idea why they want to kill off people by having these awful creatures roaming around. They were definitely terrifying, and I never want to come across a griever. And they're just the horror of the book. You get chills every time you read about them. A big catalyst in the book that happens is this girl shows up and she changes everything. She says that she's going to be the last one being sent to live in the Glade, and everything is going to change. So soon everything does start to change. Things start shutting down. The maze doors don't close at night. So what lives out in the maze? The horror, the grievers, and they are now free to come into the Glade where the boys thought they were safe for the last 2 years, and now they have to deal with this. So Thomas, along with some of his new friends, decide to figure out once and for all how to get out of this maze. And that is the remainder of the book, is them trying to get past the grievers and solve the puzzle of the maze to get out and find out who was behind their torture. I really liked all of the characters in the book. Some of them were obviously not the nicest. There's a character named Gally who really seems to hate Thomas for whatever reason, and we have no idea why. Later on in the book series, you do find out why he hates him, and it makes sense, but you hate him so much for not having a good enough reason, and honestly, this book just creates a lot of confusion within you, and you'd think you would give up after reading a book like that, but it just makes you want to read it more and makes you want to read the next book and the next book to put all the pieces of the puzzle together to finally see the big picture. I was reading the book and I was having a hard time picturing the maze in my head, so I went ahead and watched the first 5-10 minutes of the Maze Runner movie. Don't see the Maze Runner movie. If you have already, I pity you, but if you haven't read the books, it probably doesn't matter to you. But if you have read the book series, do not go see the Maze Runner movie because everything is wrong. And in the first 10 minutes, if everything was wrong, you could just tell the rest of the movie isn't going to go that well. So please don't see it. I highly recommend the book. The book is amazing. The books are always more amazing than the movies. Even some Harry Potter movies were not as good as the books. Sorry guys. Sorry Daniel Radcliffe. But I highly recommend you guys pick up The Maze Runner, and as well as the rest of the series. There are 4 books in the series. One of them is a prequel, which was published at the end of the series, but I guess you're supposed to read them that way. That's how I'm reading them. I will be reviewing next The Scorch Trials, the next book in the Maze Runner series. Until then, keep reading.